Welcome to the CXO Insights Podcast. Your host for today is Mansimrat Kaur, an MBA student of UPES SOB. जो बीवी से करे प्यार, वो प्रेस्टीज को कैसे करे इनकार? Hit a nostalgic note, right? The guest for today is also Mr. Chandru Karlo, the ex-COO of TTK Prestige. Welcome, Mr. Chandru Karlo.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, Mansimrat, and nice to be here, part of this podcast with you.
So before we dive into the conversation, let me know more about your journey and your childhood that shaped you into the leader you are today.
Okay, let's start with the childhood first. I'm a Sindhi born in a business family. The last thing we Sindhis used to think of in those days to actually go and take up a job, because then somebody would ask your dad why you don't have enough money to put him in your business or what. So anyway, that's the background I came from, but Sindhis are very good at business, etc., etc. I did my engineering and soon realized that my marks did not actually tell me the truth. I had good marks, but I was not a good engineer. So I said, okay, let me not get into engineering as a profession. Maybe I keep that as a qualification. And I went into sales. From sales, I went into marketing. And from marketing, I grew all the way to managing director, TTK Prestige. So very fulfilling career. I kind of give the credit to my dad for having pushed me to go outside my comfort zone and take up a job, because I was willing to join him in his business. And he said, listen, I don't think my business is good enough for you or big enough for you. Why don't you just go and see if you can do something for yourself? If it doesn't work, come back. I'm still very grateful to him for having said that. And that's why I went out. And here I am today in front of you, having retired from that company,
Yes.
but not retired from work yet.
Yes, sir. So, but with, you have almost 3 decades of experience in the field that is very, very questionable for a man. You revolutionized the Indian household industry with Prestige as a brand. And it's like every household has utensils and gadgets of Prestige. So how did that blue-collar salesman get into every Indian household?
So, it's not just I did it. There's a whole lot of people who actually helped me do that, or I worked alongside a lot of people to help us do that. Having said that, there's a personal side of me which likes cooking. So I'm a cook, a hobbyist at cooking, which I think helped. One of the things that my job requires is to actually understand pain points of people who are cooking or in the kitchen. And I think the fact that I cook myself, and I'm the kind of cook who doesn't like to just be the chef there and shake up things. I like to chop, I like to clean, I like to wash, I like to cook. So I like the entire process. So it helps, and therefore it helped me launch products that could make things better in the kitchen. My dream was that more and more people in India, more and more men in India, go into the kitchen. Because more and more women are going out to work. So when more and more women are going out to work and getting a share of the money that's coming home, I think it's important for men to also take the share of the work at home. And therefore, many of the products that I managed to bring inside was to make the life easier of the man so that he feels motivated enough to come. Yeah, so that helped, I think.
So apart from cooking, what else, what other hobbies, what quirky habits do you have that maybe our listeners would be intrigued to know?
Lots of movies. Lots of movies. I watch practically a movie a day, even when I used to work. Even now when I finish working and I'm retired today. So I watch a lot of movies, all kind of movies. It could be English, Hindi, regional, all of them. I watch a lot of TV shows. So that's one. I listen to music. Unlike most people who attribute this to me, I actually don't read at all. So I'm one of those, I call myself one of those very uneducated, uninitiated people who just managed to get where I am. So I haven't read a book. My wife cured me of reading. As I say, I used to read before I got married to her. जो बीवी से करे प्यार वो बुक से जरूर करे इनकार. So that's what happened. So
And I'm also a big movie buff myself. What's your favorite movie, or one movie you would recommend everyone to watch?
I recently saw Vanvas, for example, which I thought was a nice movie. But having said that, I like all kinds of genres. I like crime, I like thrillers, I like spy, I like James Bond. James Bond is my favorite character on movies. So those kind of movies I like. I like a lot of action. I do like comedy as well and light family movies. So practically anything.
Okay. And as you talked about that you design gadgets and utensils like that would be easier for the Indian men. So have you seen this dynamic shift happening in your household too?
No, in my household, since I like cooking, it was not an issue at all. For me, it's a stress buster. So, I mean, if I've had a bad day in office or a very tight day in office, it's not uncommon for me to tell my wife that, listen, don't make food. I will come home and cook. Or if I'm getting guests at home, almost always there would be at least one dish on the table that would have been made by me. That's my way of showing my welcome to whoever's coming home. But, you know, the women who have to cook, for them it's a chore, right? For them it's a duty. They want to do that duty. But I think one of the things that most people must realize is there's nothing that pleases their wife more or their partner more than if their man coming in and saying, can I help you?
True, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you would like it.
Yes, sir.
Right. So I think that promotes love. I mean, if you look at the brand itself, there's a lot of pyar in it.
Yes, sir.
So how does pyar happen? Pyar happens when care happens. And that's why we brought in that brand. I mean, I didn't bring that line. I mean, the line was there even before I joined. But I brought it back in a very different context. When the line came in, it was about the husband buying something for the wife. So if you remember the first ad, आइए जनाब आइए, क्या दूँ मैं आपको, प्रेशर कुकर दूँ, आप अपनी बीवी से कितना प्यार करते हो. So it was the husband buying the wife, and the wife was not taking the decision. We don't live in that generation now. Now no wife will allow her husband to take a decision on which cooker she should buy. Certainly not. So when we brought the line back, it was जो बीवी से करे प्यार वो prestige से कैसे करे इनकार, क्योंकि prestige helps him help his wife and show his love for her. So it was in that context we brought in Abhishek and Aishwarya when we did bring it back. And of course now we've morphed it to many things. जो अपनों से करे प्यार, so many other things.
Right. And what's one kitchen gadget you can't live without?
I can't live without my pressure cooker. That is for sure. I mean, it is something that I live day in and day out with. I can't live without my non-stick cookware. I definitely like it. There are lots of gadgets, but these two I definitely want. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't use a chopper. I like to use the knife to chop vegetables. I like good cleaning utensils. Anything that adds to... I like my induction cooktops, for example. The reason I'll tell you why, because induction cooktops have timers in it, so you can set the time and get out of the kitchen. Many of the things that we brought in with Prestige was to help the time spent in the kitchen come down so that it frees that time up for the homemaker to use for other things. I used to say, can I save 15 minutes in the morning for that housewife? Can you imagine the kind of struggle she has in the morning where she has to pack the tiffin, get the child ready, and send her husband with his dabba, and all of that happening? She needs that time. Everybody is after her. So that 15 minutes, it sounds like 15 minutes.
It's a lot.
But it's a lot.
Very thoughtful.
These are some of the themes that we brought in. So we had themes. We had health. Health is something that obviously everybody is worried about. Convenience. How can I make it convenient for the man to come into the kitchen or for the woman to do her job easier? Time saving. And of course now kitchens are open kitchens. So you must have beautiful products inside. So it's aesthetic.
So moving to a little different topic, how you have designed gadgets that help the man and the woman also. What are some skills or some hard skills, soft core skills that will help us in moving forward in our careers?
Well, I think today's students are in a very different period from what we were. You all are, first I must say, you all are smarter. You all are more versatile. You manage time better. But you're in a much tougher environment. You're in a fast evolving environment. And I think in this kind of environment, you must be very agile. Extremely agile to change with the system and extremely flexible. I think you all, what I love about you all today is you all are gutsy. You can take a decision on taking a sabbatical. I could never do that. I don't think I can ever do that. But I've seen a lot of children like you who just decide, I want to spend time with myself. Ek saal nahi kaam karungi. We can't think of that, but it happens today. But having said that, I think you all are very good multitaskers as well. But given the present situation, if you're agile and willing to evolve constantly and never get complacent, you will do well. AI is one theme today, but there are so many things. Look at the kind of courses that are coming up. Look at the kind of education systems. Look at this university. It's so beautiful here. I mean, I don't think I went to a college that looked so nice. So, children like you must keep yourself flexible and an open mind all the time. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's one college memory you would not like for us that we should not miss out on? What's one thing you still miss till date?
I did not go to a boarding college.
Oh.
I was a day scholar.
Okay.
And I think that was a huge miss in my mind. I mean, the true personality of a student, especially in a professional course, I think comes out when the person is in the hostel. Hostel, I won't even say private accommodation, I would say hostel.
Yes, sir. It
teaches you a lot of things. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. The independence, the kind of decision making you have to do, and the freedom that you don't have to report back to your parents and say what time you came back. It's brilliant. That's something I miss.
And you are from an engineering background, right? So how come in sales and then to product managers and all these lines?
So sales, because when I was in college, I used to manage some parts of my father's business for him. So we used to sell ball bearings. So I used to do some deliveries, and I was not selling, but I used to do some deliveries and maybe some payment collection. So that was something I used to do. So when I realized that my engineering skills are not what I wanted them to be, I said I'll go into sales. I was selling technical product. I was selling oscilloscopes. But I needed that engineering skill to actually talk to the people who would buy such a product. So I went there, and then from there I did variety of products like ECG machines, cardiac care equipment, office automation products, largely B2B. And then I came to B2C in audio systems in BPL before I came to TTK. So it was a journey, and I wanted to come into consumer durables and consumer selling. So TTK helped me. I think TTK gave me the right platform also. BPL gave me that fantastic grounding. Everything that I owed in terms of my listening skills or communication skills, I think happened in BPL. And everything that happened in terms of the exposure and the kind of roles that I got happened in TTK. So I'm very, 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 very fortunate that I worked in two great companies. And I think that's one thing that I would advise all children to look for when they're going into a job. Don't look at it as a transactional relationship. You know, doing a job pe gaya, I got my salary, am I getting my promotion? That's one side to it. It's important. I'm not saying no. But I think you must look at it as what am I learning? How am I adding value to myself as a person? And how am I adding value to myself in my career? Yeah. So I think that as long as that's happening, you're in good territory.
And you've had a beautiful journey from BPL to TTK. But do you miss the part of having a master's degree or a further degree after your engineering?
I did a lot. I felt actually inadequate at one point in time. Because the moment I come to marketing, then everybody around you has a marketing degree or a management degree. And I believe that a management degree is very important to get a good business perspective. It does make a difference. An engineering degree gives you a logical bent of mind. Management degree gives you a logical business perspective. Both are important. I felt inadequate, but then I told myself I can't take a sabbatical, like I told you. And therefore, I said I will work that much harder. That's the small things that I did. The small things that I did was to take on assignments that were not mine. So I asked for work that was not mine. I wanted to learn new things. That helped me actually connect with many people within the same organization. So suddenly my visibility, it's let us say my PR or my brand building, personal brand building happened. And that helped. And then because I was doing things that I was not necessarily hired for or my functional domain was, I was learning a lot. So from becoming a specialist, I moved on to become a generalist. And then I didn't need the management degree. Then I was managing.
And what has shaped you become a leader and revolutionize the industry you're in?
So it's a very good question you ask, because I genuinely believe that all managers are not leaders.
Yes, sir. True.
All leaders are generally good managers, but the reverse may or may not be true. I think what makes you a leader is a very high degree of empathy. If you are empathetic to people around you, not just your team members but even your peer group in other functions, if you are empathetic to all the stakeholders in your career, you would find that leadership comes naturally to you. Because then you are not only thinking about yourself. And somewhere you learn to control your ego. Ego is your biggest enemy. Biggest enemy. And when you are empathetic, you are in a position to control your ego. Every one of us has an ego. If someone tells you, I don't have an ego, no. Everyone has. Question is, are they able to control that ego? And that comes from a sense of empathy, a sense of respect that whoever you are dealing with also has a point of view. So the moment that happens, you tend to become a good leader. So that is how I think it worked for me. It tends to make you transparent as a person. It tends to make you a little more honest. And all these things help.
So, but do you think the coming generation has those qualities of being transparent and having low ego?
No, I think it's not got anything to do with the generation. In fact, if anything, today's generation, if given the right treatment, is better than my generation, in my opinion. Why I say that is, first, I do believe that every time the next generation is smarter and quicker and everything else. Having said that, I think that the new generation, if told properly, would listen to anything that you tell them. If you tell them with a sense of, do it now.
Authoritativeness, maybe.
They're going to fight it tooth and nail.
Yes.
And I think even I was no different. No, if I were going to think myself, I was also no different. Maybe I did not have it in me to rebel. Today's generation rebels openly, as they should. Why should they not? There's nothing wrong about it. So it all depends on who is handling the person.
Right. And as you previously talked about AI and automation, so have you seen companies downsizing and how much it is affecting? And what should we do to have an upper hand in such scenarios?
See, AI may not result in downsizing. See, AI may result in headcounts not being added. I mean, a good organization, I think, would look at AI to leverage its growth needs, but not necessarily cut down people. But one thing is going to happen, honestly. I think repetitive tasks are going to go to AI. But when the person reskills themselves to leverage AI, to use AI as an enabler, they actually get more opportunities. And it's not that today you have to go and do a new degree to leverage AI. There are so many good courses that you can do, 6-week courses, 8-week courses, where you can actually, learn the magic of AI and then come back and apply it. It's about the person's application, personal application. And I think AI is a big opportunity. It's not a problem. Automation is something that will, for example, we implemented Power BI in our company, okay? I'll just give you this as an example. What that meant was the time that a manager was using to make out reports now came at the press of a button. So I'd rather use the manager's skill set to analyze that report rather than spend 70% of his or her time creating that report. Now, the analysis of that report makes that person a far better manager. So then your analytic skills are getting honed because you're not wasting time on doing something mundane. AI is no different. It's the same thing.
Moving to a lighter note, our listeners might not know that Sir is a Sindhi born, brought up in Coimbatore. So how has that been for you? And we know that you have a great hold on languages.
Yeah, I speak Tamil well. I speak a little bit of Kannada. I understand 7-8 languages. I speak Sindhi as well. We don't read and write Sindhi, but I do speak it. It's thanks to my grandfather who migrated from Sindh at a time when most people were still stuck in Sindh at that time. And so he didn't wait till partition. He predicted partition and then left, which I think was great because then he was able to actually come with his wealth into India. So he didn't lose everything there and all that like most people did at that time. Having said that, I think Coimbatore, where he went and settled down, has been very kind to me. I studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya, so my Hindi is very good. In fact, I studied all my major subjects in Hindi. I studied 5 languages in school. English, Hindi, Sanskrit, French and Tamil. So I don't remember anything of French. I don't remember much of Sanskrit, but I definitely remember the others. Coimbatore is also very entrepreneurial. So that's another reason that it helped me because all the people around me were very entrepreneurial. So helped me in my work, helped me in our business, helped me in everything.
And like parents tend to tell us that focus on academics and you'll get in good hands. But I feel that co-curricular and non-academic things also shape a person's personality. Absolutely. And helps in the future. So were you also involved in certain sports, games or something like that?
As one of those really lazy fellows who didn't have any sports at all. I used to sing at that time. I don't sing anymore. In fact, you would be surprised. I was a terrible public speaker.
Okay.
My legs would shake, my voice would choke if you put me on a stage and ask me to speak. This happened to me in college when I went for some debating competition. They didn't have anyone else to send, so they made me one bakra and sent me there. And I couldn't stand on the stage and actually make a speech. So, but that was a turning point. I knew that this was a great weakness that I need to come out of. And I actually worked on it. Today I am a reasonably good public speaker. So the learning that I'm trying to say is that I wasn't good at sports. But my weaknesses, which I believed were important to curb as I went on, I always identified first. For example, not having an MBA, weakness. Not being able to speak in public, weakness. even my patience level used to be less, weakness. So you kind of list down and work on it. I mean, I'm saying this because I think it helps.
Yes, sir. Truly does. Yes. And how did you develop these skills, and how did public speaking help? You got confident in public speaking and all the things that you mentioned. That many people have a weakness. Many people have strengths and weaknesses both. So how did you overcome your weaknesses?
By going and making a fool of myself every time. That was the only way to do it. Go on stage and make a mess of it and come back. And that's the only way to get it out of your system.
Okay.
For example, I couldn't sit on a roller coaster, right, in an amusement park. I used to get damn scared. So I said, now there's only one way to get out of this. Go to the roller coaster, get scared 10 times, 11th time you won't get scared. That's the only way out. There's no other way you can get out of it.
And what is one downfall in your career that you face? You might have faced many, but which led you in a linear way, in your linear journey?
It's a very good question you ask. Actually, in 2003, TTK Prestige was in a very bad shape. We launched a product that was a major failure. The product actually flopped in the market. And we had a recall. And the company was in very bad shape. 100 crores turnover, 90 crores debt, 10 crores interest bill, 30 crores of unusable inventory. We were almost on the verge of collapse. And market telling us that TTK Prestige we should never buy a new product from TTK Prestige. That was the abyss that we faced. And we came out from there because we did two things. One is we believed that our value system was very good, because the company, what it did was, it took back every single product and refunded the entire money. I don't think there are many Indian companies which can claim to have done this, and hats off to the management and the ownership that actually agreed to do this. So it built us a good reputation. Using that as a starting point, we did everything that the market didn't expect us to do. We launched so many new products, we grew, we put a growth objective that we had never achieved before, and achieved it. So I think the long and short of this story is that adversity sometimes, with your back to the wall, brings out the best in you. Yeah.
अगर एक downfall आए तो a graph will go up from
Up
there
only from
after
there. Yes.
after that.
Yes.
So you should learn from your downfalls and not get demotivated
Yes.
and just finish everything.
Yeah.
That's great. So ending the podcast, hope you all had a great time listening to it. And so before you go, we have a hamper for you from Himalayan Kaffer, our gifting partners, and would love to present it to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Simrat. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
It was great being in your university. It's fabulous. The vibe here is absolutely lovely. So thank you for hosting me and the hospitality.
Hope you had a great time,
Yes,
sir.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.